What if I tell you that the most expensive thing about knitting is not the yarn, and it's not the needles, and not the stuff you buy, and it's also not the precious time? It's your attention. Because attention quietly became the most valuable thing that we own. And most of us give it away hundreds of times a day. So hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah and this is the little corner of the internet where I talk about yarn, knitting, creativity and creating a more slow intentional lifestyle. So if this is something for you, then definitely subscribe to the channel and stick around. And today I want to talk about why knitting costs so much more than just the money. And yes, of course knitting costs money. We buy a lot of random stuff that we don't need, right? And yes, beautiful yarn can be expensive, but it doesn't have to. It's totally up to you. You determine what your priority is and where you want to put it. You can get cheap yarn at a dollar store, or you can go to a fancy yarn boutique that only sells like hand-dyed one-of-a-kind single skeins of yarn that are super high priced. Or you can buy needle sets for hundreds of dollars in several sizes, or you can just use the ones that your grandma gave you years ago. Or you can go and buy another pattern, or maybe 5 patterns a day if you feel like so. Or you can go and get something that's for free and just download it with spending no money. That's completely up to you. So the actual financial issue is not that big of a deal. You can go very high price, but you can also go very cheap. The overall experience won't be that much different whether you spend hundreds of euros or dollars on a project or not. And honestly, I don't even think that's the real price that we pay. What knitting actually asks for is much harder to find. It's your full attention, and not while switching between 10 different tabs open on your computer. Your full attention in a present moment. And the strange thing is, we rarely notice where our attention even goes. And do we even care where it goes? Does it even matter where it goes? Every app wants it. Every notification interrupts it. Every algorithm competes for it. And every advertisement you see is designed to capture it very sneaky. So yes, we live in an attention economy. And none of those companies surrounding you are actually selling a product to you. And here you go, you are on YouTube, you are consuming that media multiple hours at a time, and you do it, and you give your attention there, and you do it for free. You spend X many hours on that platform every week. So they are buying a piece of your life. And because it's free, you are the product. You are the product and you are being consumed. I know that stinks and it feels really uncomfortable, but let it sit for a second. So yes, it's uncomfortable, but it also proves that your attention is profitable. The longer they keep it, the more valuable you are. And without even realizing it, we slowly forget how uninterrupted attention even feels. And we give it away freely, every day, multiple times for hours. In exchange for what actually? Okay, now let's counter this because that was really hard. Let's go back to knitting. Because knitting asks for something different. Knitting does not reward your urgency. It does not move faster because you are impatient. That piece grows stitch by stitch just as it did 100 years ago. And this pace can feel a little bit frustrating up until a point where it gets very comforting. Once you are in the flow and you settle down, your shoulders relax, you breathe a little bit slower, you get into the rhythm, and your thoughts become quieter, and you finally figure out that you are not consumed by another experience. You're simply inside one, and sustained attention simply changes how your mind feels. Somewhere along the way, we forgot how to be with only one thing at a time. Now, in the past, I used to catch myself to reach my phone whenever I started knitting. Just a few rows, and then I would grab my phone. Even if nothing happened, no ringtone, no emergency, no notification, nothing. No reason, just a habit, and just by the moment where I actually should have slowed down. But however, my brain had learned that every moment of stillness should be filled immediately. My base level of the input I needed to feel calm was so high that it was somehow just impossible to just simply stay. Stay in a moment with only one thing at a time was kind of impossible. It set me on high alert all the time. And then I was checking completely random things like the weather forecast or like the weather prediction for the next 2 weeks that, yeah, I checked already 5 times. And if I wanted to know what the weather is like, I just look outside the window, and I knew that by that time of the day there would be no very, very important messages that I should check now, no emails I should check now in that very moment, or even just the clock. I knew what time of the day it was. I did not have to check it, but I just did it anyway. So, and by the second I realized that this was a very, very unhealthy habit, I had to overcome it, like now. And I think I'm not alone with this. This is a problem modern world or the society has, like it's a general problem. So what I did to get my attention back was to just sit there and knit in silence, in complete silence. No media, no noise, maybe some birds singing outside, but nothing else. Just me sitting down and knit. And my experiment was that I would set my timer for 20 minutes. 20 minutes, that's a time that everyone can do, and everyone has that 20 minutes. We can always make space for that. I guess what I wanted to do was kind of like meditation or something like that. So my screen goes black after a minute, so the first couple of seconds I could still see on my screen. And I was just sitting there, like here, started knitting. And guess what? After only 5 seconds, it started to become uncomfortable. That's incredibly short. So I felt very uncomfortable, and that tension was just rising. And then, after only 17 seconds, I had to shake my hands and had to shake my body and stand up, because it was so full of tension. I could just not hold it. I wanted to get, yeah, you could say truly like I wanted to get out of my body. That tension was so, even my dog could have feel it. He started to like look nervous, and then when I was getting up and like, that does not feel too good, I really need to shake it off, he did that little doggy shake, you know, when they shake their whole body to calm themselves down. Even he did it. Even he could feel it. And that was the moment where I was like, okay, girl, you need to calm down. You really have something going on there. So from there on, I know I needed to interrupt this overall consumption, that like invisible thing that's consuming me and trying to like, yeah, slowly but surely stealing my ability to focus and pay attention to something. And I really wanted to get it back. So yeah, I decided to knit in silence without any interruption and just practice and practice and practice paying attention to myself and being with myself. And then I knew what I lost. I lost my spark. And with practice and practice and practice, I got it back. It took some time and it was slow, but it snowballed. The things we remember in life are usually not the fastest moments, but they are the ones that we fully experience. It could be a walk, a conversation, or a meal, or a nice sunset, or that cardigan that you commit to working on for months and months and months. And not because they were efficient and habit stacked into another and another and another while doing several things simultaneously at the same time, but because we were actually there with our minds and our souls and our thoughts. Because that attention is what gives those experiences the weight. And without that attention, everything starts to feel a little bit blurry. Attention creates meaning, and the meaning is created by you. So now I know that whenever I have the urge to knit more, it's my inside feeling that I really need to connect with myself and go back and practice this kind of attention again. And then I practice attention to my hands, to the yarn, to the fabric, to the movement, to the tiny progress that can't be rushed no matter how hard I try, and to the silence, and to myself, and to feeling my feelings. Every finished project I finish in that attention and focus state reminds me that beautiful things are not beautiful because we are in a hurry or we rush. They happen because we stay. So yeah, maybe that's the real luxury today. It's not the expensive yarn. It's also not the time, even though it's rare sometimes. And it's definitely not owning more things, but having the ability to give one thing your full attention. Because attention is where life happens. We only experience what we pay attention to. And maybe this is what knitting has been teaching us all along in the past decades, in the present, and will in the future. And it will teach it to you as well if you let it happen. So now get off the screen and just try for how long you can hold that tension, for how long you can just sit with yourself and your knitting. No screen, no phone, no music, no nothing. And just sit there with your own thoughts. And don't look at your phone, don't talk to anyone, just be there with yourself. And yeah, if you want to, then share your experience in the comments down below. I would be really interested in what your experiences with this are. And if this is something that you don't want to share because it's too intimate or feels too private, then just leave a little yellow heart in the comments below so I know that you tried and that you have been here. Until then, take care of yourself and I'll see you next week. Until then, happy knitting. Bye bye.